Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
It's time for the Conduit for Action game show, which is based on the Conduit for Action weekly quiz, Government 101. That's what I want to say is, I don't know, I just love this theme. For some reason, I've got that scene from Batman in my head right now with Michael Keaton. Show me the money, hubba, hubba, hubba. Who do you trust? Who do you trust? All right, this one. This is about bonds. James bonds. Bonds are future tax increases. Lately, many states, counties, and cities are trying to avoid the traditional tool to grow government by using bonds. And this is now happening all over the state at all levels. Rather than passing a tax increase, local governments are now touting the idea of selling bonds as the best way to fund projects without raising taxes. What government doesn't tell you is that these bonds are essentially increases by another name. Bonds are simply borrowed money which must be repaid, starting with high and usually tax-free to the lender interest. It is true the government starts paying tax-free interest on the debt bonds immediately, but when the bonds are due, future taxpayers, such as your children and grandchildren, will be on the hook for repaying the bond principals from increased taxes. You can take this quiz to learn the basics behind bonds, and then you'll know more about how this affects you, the taxpayer. Now, Joe, when you hear this sound as you take the quiz, just to review everything, when you hear this sound, it means you're out of time. Okay, and let's see, what else do we have here? If you get a wrong answer, we will boo you. And if you get a correct answer, we will praise you. Sound good? All right. Joe knows that. Just so you know, Joe, I actually did the quiz by myself. It was a review before Thanksgiving. I know you weren't here, and I scored a 100 on the review questions.
You got a couple more 100s to catch up.
Yeah, I have a text message here from Rufus. He's texting in Washington County, and he predicts that you will make a 50% on this quiz.
Not as much confidence.
Yeah,
but then again, I probably don't have much confidence in myself on this particular topic.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, but it's good. It's about educating. All right, so question number 1.
That's what we should do from now on. If you're listening, just text in or put it on Facebook, what you think I'm going to get.
Yeah, or we could make it like a pool or something, or we could take bets. I mean, we could do that, right?
I guess.
Oh, or does the government regulate that? Oh, right, yeah. Running numbers used to be something the mob would do. It was illegal. And then the state said, but we'll just make it legal, but we'll regulate it and we'll make it a lottery and we'll create a poor tax for it. Okay. Question number 1. What is a government bond? Is it A, issuing of public debt that is usually secured by the full faith and credit of the government entity issuing it, i.e. secured by the taxpayer of that government entity, whether state, county, or city, in future tax increases? Is it B, free money that the government gets to use to grow government? C, not a tax increase? Or D, money that China gives to government out of the goodness of their heart? Think it out now.
I really like the answers, especially
I think this one's
B,
obvious.
C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
I like just because they're really funny to me.
Yep.
But the little that I do know about bonds, it's definitely A.
Definitely A. Okay, all right, good. All right, so he's going with A, folks. Question number 2. In Arkansas, who can now issue bonds for economic development projects after Issue 3 of 2016 passed? Okay, who can now issue bonds? Is it the state of Arkansas, A? Is it B, counties? Is it C, cities? Or is it D, all of the above. Relax it out now. Relax it out.
Take my time on this one. Okay, so I definitely know the state can issue bonds.
Yep.
I think it's just the state.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know what? No.
All right, that sound
No,
means you're out of time.
I'm going all of the above.
All of the above.
I'm pretty sure issue 3, one of issue 3s, I'm pretty sure we talked about this. I'm trying to use my very limited memory here. I'm pretty sure counties can give out bonds as well now. I might be wrong about that.
All right.
You know what? I'm going to go back on. I'm going to see. I just need to not question myself. Just go with what I went with the first time, state of Arkansas.
Okay. All right.
Going with A again.
Going with A. All right. Question number 3. Who is allowed to buy these economic development bonds? A, anyone allowed under law who is willing and able. B, only Arkansas residents. C, only U.S. citizens. Or D, only those authorized and approved by the governing body issuing the bonds.
Don't even have to think about this one. This one's D. Because at this point, they're just like, we've said this before, but in a different context, it's the government picking winners and losers.
Okay.
They're allowed to pick who gets bonds and who doesn't.
Okay, going with D. Going with D. Joe's going with D again. All right, here we go. Question number 4. Is it free for cities, counties, and the state to issue and keep up with these bond programs? A, yes, they are easy to set up and run on autopilot once set up. Or B, no, large law firms and financial firms are paid huge sums of taxpayer money to set up, implement, and administer these bond programs. These people are sometimes referred to as bond daddies.
Okay.
Bond daddies. James Bond daddies.
The fact that the question or the answer has bond daddies, it immediately makes me think that's not an answer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with yes.
You're going with yes.
Okay, so that goes back up to here to 2, which I want to put all of the above.
Oh, you're now changing
yes.
question 2.
Yes.
I don't know if judges will let you do that.
The judges are.
I guess they will because
this is like a test, and I can go back and change answers.
Yeah, you can go back and change answers.
What I used to do on tests is I would start from the front, get about maybe a page and a half in, and then flip it over to the back. Just because usually a lot of similar questions are right there grouped next to each other, so I flip it over to the back and get a different set of questions on a different set of topics.
Interesting.
That's just what I used
You're breaking the psychological journey your teacher may be taking you on to try to trick you.
That's fine. If they're trying to trick me, then I'm messing with them.
Well, you caught it up. I mean, the questions themselves, they did. I mean, I was sitting here noticing, being like, number 4 is going to kind of. All right, so.
It's going to help me out.
Well, yeah, I was like, well, they're giving you the answer to number 2 in question number 4.
So the thing now is I definitely do need to second guess myself and go with my second guess.
Okay, all right.
That's what I learned from this.
So question 4
is
is it free for cities, counties, and the state to issue and keep up with these bond programs? Which one did you go with on that?
I went with yes.
All right. So you think it's
set up and run on autopilot once.
Okay. All right. Question number 5.
Because bond daddies doesn't seem like a thing to me.
Oh, it doesn't.
I don't think it's a thing, but then again, I could be wrong.
Well, I've never used the term bond daddies.
I've never used it either, or ever heard of it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Question number 5.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
What is the limit on these economic development bonds after issue 3 of 2016? This is a good one.
Oh, I know this one.
Is it A, 5% of the general revenue budget of the governing body? B, 50% of the general revenue budget of the governing body? C, 1,000,000% of the general revenue budget of the governing body? Or D, is there no limit to how much they can spend?
There's no limit because I remember when I first joined the show as the producer / board operator, I remember this was a big thing going on. Like you were talking about it because it got passed, and we kept bringing it up. The fact that them having no limit essentially puts us at a possible infinite amount of debt.
Yes,
I remember that specifically.
Yep.
So no limit.
All right. Well, that's your memory. That's your memory. Question number 6. Who was the lead sponsor of SJR 16 of 2015 that became issue 3 of 2016? To allow for these economic development bonds, and who was a supporter of SJR 16 of 2015? Is it A, indicted Senator John Woods, and the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce. B, indicted Senator John Woods and Governor Asa Hutchinson. C, indicted Senator John Woods and Senator Jim Hendren. Or D, all of the above.
I'm going to go with all of the above because
all of the above.
Asa wants every opportunity to try to quote-unquote bring jobs to Arkansas using these bonds. So that immediately puts that one there, and then usually his nephew follows in tow with what he wants.
Yes, yeah.
Usually.
No, both of them do.
And the Chamber of Commerce is very much about the money and trying to have flexibility to be able to do whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, question number 7. Do the sale of these bonds have to be a public sale, or can they be a private sale? A, must be public, B, must be private, or C, can be either public or private because Amendment 62, Article 3 of the Arkansas Constitution, was repealed as part of Issue 3 of 2016, which required a public sale after a notice to the public.
I'm gonna go with C.
C, okay. Man, if that's true, that is cronyism at its finest.
Absolutely.
You know? Question 8.
It just seems like something that they would do. The Arkansas Republican establishment, a.k.a. the indicted John Woods, it seems like something he would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Question number 8. Which state was the only state in the 20th century to default on its debt because of its issuance of too many bonds? A, Georgia. B, Arkansas. C, Texas. Or D, Mississippi.
Something tells me it's not Texas.
Oh, really?
Something tells me it's not Texas because I feel like Texas has enough sense to not do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me wants to put Arkansas. But I don't know the answer to this, so I'm just going to put Arkansas.
Okay, well.
Honestly, I have no idea what the answer is.
All right, that sound means you're out of time, so you just at the nick of time. Question number 9, who is ultimately responsible for paying back the debt or the bond? A, the city, B, the state, C, the county, D, the taxpayer.
I think the powers that be are trying to tell me something with this one. The fact that the taxpayer is in all caps.
Oh, it is. It is. Okay.
I'm going to go with that one.
Because
taxpayer. That's the only one that makes sense. Because the city sure as heck ain't paying it back. The state's not, and the county's not.
Yeah,
so
none of those things are funded by, those are not.
Well, all of those things are funded by, guess what? The taxpayer.
Yeah, there we go. Question 10, have you subscribed to Conduit Fractions email list to get new surveys? And in what town do you live? And so, all right, let's check it out, Joe. Where are we on this? Going all the way back up to question number 1.
Higher than 50%.
What'd you get?
88.9.
88.9%. You get a B.
Question.
You get a B.
Almost an A. Almost an A. But if I had got the other, if I had gotten the
almost doesn't
right,
count though. You got a B.
I know, horseshoes and hand grenades.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see.
What did I get wrong? Let's find what I got wrong.
All right, what'd you get wrong? Hang on, I got to get the booze ready.
Bond daddies is a thing.
Well, I mean, according to this, yeah, bond daddies.
I had no idea.
Bond daddies. It's like, I don't know. It's like I want to make some sort of weird James Bond reference, and I think it would work because of his, the character's promiscuous behavior. You could say something about illegitimate children and bond daddies.
Yeah.
I feel like.
James Bond is your daddy.
Yeah.
Bond daddies.
Okay.
Well, they'd be Bond babies at that point.
Yeah, Bond babies.
Kind of like Super Bowl babies.
Did you get a Bond baby out of your encounter with James? All right, so I gotta boo you on this one. You got this one wrong.
Joe, you can boo me.
Shame on you,
Bring
Joe.
on the booze.
What else did you get wrong? Is that it? Is that the only
That's
wrong
the one
answer?
I got wrong because I got 8 out of 9.
All right, so this is for all your right answers. Way to go! You got a good score.
The thing is, I was so close to an A, but if I had gotten my wrong answer right, I would have got 100.
Yeah, that one's pretty. I mean, it's pretty good. You did good. I really thought. I thought you were going to bomb this as well.
Hey, but I exceed expectations.
Yeah, you did. This is really good stuff. But real quick, if we could review.
Absolutely.
Issuing of public debt that is usually secured by the full faith and credit. That's what a bond is. And it's a future tax increase. That's what it's going to be. That's what this represents. They are gambling and they're hoping that they have the money for this in the future, and that's just not certain. Nobody can plan. Nobody lives their life and plans their household by that, and yet the state of Arkansas is going to do it. In Arkansas, who can now issue bonds? The state of Arkansas can issue bonds. Counties can now issue bonds for economic development, and cities, because of that stupid indicted Senator John Woods law that he put on the ballot and we all stupidly voted for. Well, I didn't vote for it, but ASA supported it. Can we talk about how ASA supported
wasn't that
John Woods' economic development bill, and now he's indicted for shady dealings?
Was that the jobs bill? Was that what this one was?
Yeah, it was the jobs amendment, and ASA made with the Economic Development Commission, had these election time ads going out saying, vote for issue 3. It's the jobs amendment, and I'm the jobs governor. And it was a joke. It's always been a joke, and all it has done is put us in more debt, or it will put us in more debt. And the fact that counties can now do what the state only used to, and now cities can. Don't you understand? I mean, come on. We know how city governments operate in Arkansas, and they always try to go to the left. You don't think they're not going to be able to resist themselves? We already have Fort Smith trying to do this. I think they're trying to lure a company. But the city of Springdale, in the news today and yesterday, this is what they're doing. They're going to put it on the ballot, and they're going to finance bonds so that they can build roads. It is going to be a complete mess one day, and you will have probably John Woods will be in a jail cell to thank for it. All right, question number, let's see what else, 3. Who is allowed to buy these economic development bonds? The correct answer, only those authorized and approved by governing bodies. Okay, so it's total cronyism. Back to question 5, down to question 5. What is the limit on these economic development bonds? Again, there's no limit. They can go into an unlimited amount of debt. And you know they will. You know they will just run this tab up. Let me roll the dice one more time. Question 6, who was the lead sponsor? Indicted Senator John Woods and Senator Hendren. Governor Hutchinson and the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce supported it verily. Number 7, do the sale of these bonds have to be a public sale, or can they be a private sale? The correct answer is it can be either public or private, because Amendment 62 of the Arkansas Constitution was repealed as part of indicted Senator John Woods' plan, which required a public sale after a public notice. They don't have to do that anymore, though. Question 8, which state was the only state in the 20th century to ever default on its debt because of issuance of too many bonds? That would be Arkansas. Looks like we're not going to learn from history. Question 9, who is ultimately responsible for paying back the debt or the bond? You are, we are, your kids are, the taxpayer is. It's a very good quiz. Those of you watching and you know the answers now or listening, go to conduitforaction.org, share this quiz with your coworkers so that they understand what these bonds really are. It's more debt, it's not conservative, and it will result in future tax increases because they're going to make a bad gamble at some point. Your local city, you ever think about the people that you know who are on your city council? You really trust these guys to have an unlimited credit card? We got to take a
Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.